guys. My name is Nervous and I'm Zoe. Okay, my name is actually Zoe though. And it's not Zoo, it's not Zoe, it's not Zowie, and it's not Joe, although I have been called all of those things. I blame substitute teachers. And actually, I forgot my last name last night. I don't know how. I had a dream that my last name was Knight because I'd been thinking about Batman. And so I woke up in like the middle of the night and I was like, okay, what's my real last name? Because I know I'm not married to Batman. And so I lay there for a good like 10 minutes and I eventually had to go up and get my name tag. I was like, oh, okay, it's Ward. And there's this restaurant chain and it's called Zoe's Kitchen. It's not very popular. I don't know, it's pretty good. There's one in Florida. I ate there when I went to Florida once. And it's spelled just like my name. It's Z-O-E and there's 2 little dots over the E. And so every time I walk in there, you know, I think something really big is gonna happen. Like, oh my God, she's here. The prophecy is fulfilled. Okay, but I'm from Frankfurt. Call ourselves Frankfurters. At least I'm not from Hamburg. Can I Okay, but there's this bookstore in Frankfurt, and it's called Poor Richard's. Just like, oh God, stop. Okay, that was a mistake. But there's this bookstore in Frankfurt called Poor Richard's, which is like a ridiculous name for a bookstore. And so they're like used books. And so they'll say stuff like, if it's broken or something, it'll say damaged. Every time I go in there, I'm like, okay, no need to bring my personal life into this, I'm just looking for a book. That was really morbid, I'm very sorry. Okay, but, okay. Does everybody like their classes this year? Okay, well, I'm in writing, also known as how many times can I use the word moist in a sentence before people get mad? It's usually once. But as you can tell, I am very nervous. So I hope that you guys laugh with me and not at me because I'm the only thing up here for you to laugh at. But actually, a lot of things make me nervous, especially needles. I was at the doctor's office and they were drawing blood and they like put this tourniquet thing around my arm. And then they were like, all right, now we're gonna draw blood. And they stuck the needle in my arm and I was like, wait a minute, you're taking it? And they said, yes, ma'am, that's what drawing blood means. And I said, you mean out of my body? They were like, do we need to call your mother? But then I had to call back to get the results. And phone calls also make me really nervous. So I called them and I was like, hello? And they were like, yes, this is Pediatric Associates, how may I help you? And I was like, hello? And they said, hello, ma'am, and I think they knew it was me. They were like, would you like to schedule an appointment or pick up results or something? And I was like, I want my blood back. And she said, what? And then I hung up. I made my mom call her back. But I had to get blood work done because I have asthma, which I know it's ridiculous. I have asthma, I need an inhaler, I'm in nerd camp. And I need glasses, I'm wearing contacts right now. But I know, all I need is like a fanny pack and some braces and I'm set. But since I do have asthma, and trying to reassure somebody that I'm okay while I'm having an asthma attack is kind of counterproductive because they're like, oh my God, are you okay? Do you need to go home? Do you need to go to the doctors? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing? But yeah, people ask me if I have any talents or if I'm good at anything, and obviously not. So I tell them like, oh yeah, I'm good at like watching TV and breathing. They're like, oh, I totally get it. But I have an astigmatism and asthma, so technically I can't even do that. My asthma, it's usually set off by like allergies, which is like the immune system equivalent of getting punched in the face. And so I'll be like around a cat or something. I don't even have to be in the same room as the cat. And I'll be like, oh, immune system, you're so strong, thank you for protecting me. And my immune system will be like, is that a cat? And I'm like, yes, and my immune system's like, I hate cats. My immune system is actually Batman. But one of these days I'm just gonna be around a cat and I'm just gonna die. Let's be real. But speaking of thinking that I'm gonna die, I was watching Bob's Burgers over the summer. One of my favorite shows, and it was on Netflix. And the Netflix I mean, the Wi-Fi at my dad's house is not the best. It's kind of slow, and so it was buffering, and I gave it a minute, and it was still buffering, so I went upstairs to go make some lunch, because it was like 3 in the afternoon, and I hadn't eaten anything, because it's summer. So I go upstairs to make some lunch, and apparently, it stopped buffering when I was up there, because there is nothing more terrifying than thinking that you're home alone, and hearing Linda Belcher from the other room go, "All right!" Also, I threw a boomerang a few years ago, and it never came back, so now I live in constant fear of that too. But as you can tell, I am scared of very many things, and I'm also scared of going to the dentist because it's kind of like psychological torture, because they've got you pinned down, they got this big old light in your face, and they're like sticking things in your mouth, all these pointy things, and asking you questions like, "When was the last time you flossed?" And I'm like, "You were there!" I don't know how the dentist can understand you with all those tools in their mouth, and I think they're like making it up as they go. It's like, you can't hear them. It's like, so where do you go to school? Oh, my daughter goes there. What's your favorite color? Oh, I like that one. Like, you could say anything you wanted, you know? Like, do you play any instruments? Tax exemptions. My son plays that. The 5-second rule does not work in dentist office or the hospital, you know? Like, okay, now I'm going to transport the kidney. Oh, crap! I dropped it! 5-second rule. That's so disgusting. So sorry. But the only reason that I really do stand up is because I get to stand out here and talk about myself, and you guys can't stop me. But yeah, every time I come to this camp, I have a different haircut. SCAT 2014, I had my hair down to like my lower back, and I always wore it in a ponytail. Last year, I had the Lord Farquaad haircut. Actually, I photoshopped a picture, let's see if I have it. I photoshopped a picture of Lord Farquaad's face over mine. It's pretty bad, if you can see that. It's seamless. Yes, I had the Lord Farquaad bob last year, never going back. And this year I have a pixie cut, so next year I'm just going to come back and my head's going to be bald. But so, okay, so I have short hair, and during, like, not summer, even sometimes during summer, I wear flannel, like, a lot, because I'm that kid. And so somebody at Kohl's, some, like, middle-aged woman at Kohl's comes up to me and taps my shoulder. She goes, "Excuse me, sir," and I turn around and I go, "Yes?" And I watch all the color drain out of her face. Speaking of Lord Farquaad, my friend group at school is called the Farquaad Star Squad. We actually call ourselves that. And one of my friends in this group does theater, and theater kids are hardcore, okay? She was in a production of Romeo and Juliet, and the kid playing Benvolio passed out on stage in the middle of a scene, and Juliet just kept going. She was in that really long monologue about the rose, and she just kept going. Benvolio was like lying on the ground. Mercutio was trying to administer CPR and drag him off stage. She just kept going. And so the kid gets off stage, and the first thing out of this kid's mouth when he wakes up is, "Did I finish my lines?" Poor thing, this is hard. But yeah, oh gosh, okay. But I could not do that. I'm not good at theater, and I'm so bad in emotional situations. You know, like I couldn't work as a 911 operator, because somebody would call in like, "I'd like to report a murder," and I'd be like, "Hey, get a load of this snitch on line 3. Snitches get stitches, dude. Hello? Okay. But, speaking of the doctors and 911 and stuff, I fell down the stairs yesterday. As you can tell, because my knees are all scraped up, it's very sad. And what happened was, I saw the beehives and I got distracted because I like bees. And then I fell down the stairs and I kind of caught myself, but then my foot went into a ditch and I fell again. People from my writing class were all there and they all saw it. And according to the people who were walking, I fell like this, like a Disney princess. So now I hurt all over. And people ask me, you know, "How did you hurt yourself? How did you scrape up your knees?" Expecting some awesome story about how I saved some kid from a burning building, and I have to tell them I fell down the stairs because I was looking at a bee. But yeah, I'm not good in heavy situations, and I kind of feel like that's how the US reacted when we got the Statue of Liberty from the French, because it's like, oh, great, giant metal lady, merci. Because, I mean, that's not the kind of present you can return, right? She didn't come with a giant metal receipt unless that's what they printed on her plaque thing. But I bet we tried to pawn it off on some poor other country like Canada, like, hey, come here, Canada, we got you something. We don't want it. We probably tried to put it in the desert or something at first. But no, we put it right in front of the US just to be nice, because otherwise the French people would turn up like, oh, where is the statue we give you? And we'd be like, we melted that down and turned it into a boat. The Titanic, actually, so I'd check the bottom of the ocean if I were you. Very sorry, very sorry. But it would be even worse if the statue arrived without warning, because it's like this big old crate that just says, to the US from France, and you open it up and it's just a giant metal head. Like, oh my god, the French mafia is threatening us. But yeah, I feel like that's what gives some French guy thought up in the middle of the night, like, oh, we have so much gold, we have so much copper, I turn it into a statue and I give it to the US. Then he fell back asleep and forgot about it. But the teapot was also another bad idea somebody thought up in the middle of the night, I feel like. Because it's like, alright, we've got this thing that boils water. Now how are we going to know when it boils? Some guy's like, make it scream. That's genius, but what are we going to do about the new iPhone? Make it bigger. These things are huge. Okay, but I am guilty of the good idea in the middle of the night thing, because I woke up in the middle of the night and I have like this sitting next to my bed, so if I think of anything, I can write it down and then I'll remember it in the morning. I have a dream journal. But so, in the middle of the night I have this great idea. And I wake up and I write it down, and in the morning I like vaguely remember that I'd written something down, so I check this, and all it says, apparently I had a dream about LeBron James being in my house, because he's very tall and we have short ceilings. So all it said was, tall man in a small house, the saga. Let's make a movie out of this. It's just LeBron James banging his head on doorways for 3 hours. Another late night thought, what if dogs could copy us like we could copy them, right? Like, because we can bark back to them, but we don't know what we're saying. Like, we're sitting on the couch, sitting next to our dog and talking to somebody, and our dog just looks up at us and goes, George H.W. Bush. Like, I would love that. Like, hey buddy, you want to go outside? Taxes, taxes, taxes. I mean, parents can kind of do that. Also, this is a really bad joke, get ready. When somebody who delivers babies goes out and buys a sports car, they're having a midwife crisis. I promise I'm like almost done. Okay, but my mom always says, you know, once you've reached rock bottom, the only place to go is up. And I always say, Mom, you underestimate me because I've brought my jackhammer. And I'm ready to dig. Jackhammer's the worst name though, because it's like, what's Jack out there doing? I don't know. Jack, what are you doing? Hammering. Jack's hammering. Thanks, Jack. And finally, I will tell you one more story before I go. It's pretty awful. It also involves my mom. I love her. I marched in our Frankfurt inauguration day parade when Matt Bevin got elected. And so it was freezing cold outside. And I am allergic to the state flower goldenrod. I should really move. But so we were marching and I was sneezing and coughing and I couldn't feel my hands and I couldn't see my sheet music because my arms were going like this and I couldn't play my flute. And so I was miserable. And so after it was over, my mom texted me and goes, how did it go? And I said, oh God, it was awful. And I like went on this 5-minute rant about it. And all she sends back was the word schnarfle, which isn't a word. And so my mom always texts in like proper grammar, capitalization, punctuation. There was none of that in this text. So my first thought was like, oh my God, my mom had a stroke. My mom is dead and her last word was schnarfle. So I text her back like, are you okay? What does schnarfle mean? She goes, oh, that's the sound you make when you sneeze into your flute. Because that is all. Tell your friends, tip your waitresses, good night.